Parent Entrepreneur Power, conversation number 132.
Parent Entrepreneur Power.
Wait, what? Entrepreneur Power!
This is the podcast for parents juggling the tough choices required for success in business while putting family first. Hi, I'm Mary Catherine Johnson, and I share the ups and downs and dirty truths of profits and potty training while chatting with successful parent entrepreneurs from all walks of life. Are you powered up? Hey there, Power Parents. Let's power this thing up, shall we? I have another solo show for you today, and I got to tell you, this is basically the culmination of the last two episodes that we've had together, the last two conversations. Basically, I am going to tie it all together with something interesting that I've recently been exposed to and started implementing. So I hope you hang on to find out more about it. But let me just quickly say, thank you to all of the wonderful people who've been basically interacting with me and taking me up on conversations and things like that. I just have to say, it just, there's a reason we help other people. And I know you've heard this before. The teacher learns more from the student sometimes than the student learned from the teacher. So I have just learned so much, and it helps me keep all of these things top of mind for myself too. So thank you. Also, thank you for the reviews and the ratings on the iTunes on the podcast. If you haven't done so yet, I would so appreciate if you do. Go to iTunes and give me an honest rating of the show and a review if you feel so inclined. But let's just get down to business, shall we? All right. So the last two conversations we've had together covered several things. The first thing was 3 easy ways that you can say yes to the right things for your life and business and no to the things that don't help your life and business. And we talked about specifically in that scheduling, using rescue time to see where your time's actually spent, and limiting the time you give away for free to people. And another thing we talked about in the last couple of episodes was 3 critical money-making barriers that a mentor can help you break through, like time management, dealing with your time, fear, a big one for most of us, and consistent revenue and profit, really why we're here, or at least what makes it worthwhile, why we're here. So today I want to add to some of those insights that I've recently put into practice in my life and business. And these insights I learned from an amazing book that I've read, that I'm actually in the middle of reading, almost done with it actually. It's called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakhiani. And these insights and tools are really key metrics, key success metrics for parents specifically. So I hope you hang on for this. So here it goes. All right. One of the most important things that Vishen talks about in his book is happiness. All right, hang on now. Don't just hit stop and go, here she goes, woo-woo on me again. No, seriously, hear me out. We've only got a few minutes together. I promise you this will be worthwhile. So let's talk about happiness. If you have goals in your life, and you're saying to yourself, when I do X, I'll be happy, okay? For example, when I go on vacation, I'll be happy. Or when I make $3,000 a month, I'll be happy. Or when my baby is born, I'll be happy. Or when I retire, I'll be happy. When my business gets going, I'll be happy. Does that ring a bell to anybody? Has any of us said any of those kinds of things that we basically put our goal ahead of ourselves and said, when we reach it, I'll be happy? Because right now I'm not really happy because I'm not reaching that goal and I got to do a bunch of junk in order to try and get there. Okay? Yeah, I know. We've all done this. You might not really be saying these exact things. You might just be putting off happiness or joy or enjoying the journey, as I always say, until you reach those specific milestones. It's usually not a conscious statement that we make in our heads, or maybe it is. I don't know about for you, but usually for me, it's not a conscious statement. It's just the way I might behave or live. Well, Vishen has shown me how to be happy now and impact my life and business for the better. Okay. So I really discovered the true sense of the statement I've always been saying, my basic tagline for the last 13 years, which is how I end this show every single time: enjoy the journey. So let's see how doing that can actually impact your life and business. Okay. Like I said, you're probably saying, yeah, great, Mary, that's all great for those woo-woo people, but I'm practical. I need to live in the real world. Okay? Yeah, I gotcha. I get it. This will help you live in the real world. Trust me. Okay, so what does this look like in your day-to-day life as a parent building a business, as a parent entrepreneur? And how will this equate to your bottom line? Well, I'm so glad you asked. All right, let's just take one example. Let's say you're in startup mode. Okay, you're doing everything yourself, and some of it's a real chore, and you don't necessarily like it. Okay, you might be using this time of little sleep and lots of discouragement to tell yourself, it'll be better when I get blank, fill in the blank, whatever it is, my first paying client, or my first comment on my blog, or my first 100 email subscribers, or whatever it is you're telling yourself. It'll be better when I get blank. Okay? Yeah, that's what most of us tell ourselves in the startup phase. But to be happy now in that same situation, that same startup phase, looks a little like this. I am so thankful to have started this thing already instead of still just thinking about it. Or I've learned so much since I started this journey. My gosh, stuff I had no clue existed before. Or I've put such amazing systems in place that when my first client pays me, I will hit the ground running. Okay? Another one might be, I am so amazed at how much I can share with the people who need what I have to offer. Okay, did you see the difference between those two things? Yeah, I saw the difference too, and I'll get to exactly what that is in a second. But really, in this book that I've been talking about, and no, I'm not an affiliate. I'm not selling 50,000 copies, so you can buy it from me. I just love this book. Okay. The difference is what Dan Sullivan, who is an entrepreneurial coach that Vishen quotes in this book, Dan Sullivan terms this the forward gap versus the reverse gap. Okay, in other words, the forward gap is, do you longingly dream of what's in front of you? Or do you show gratitude for how far you've come? Because basically, and this is a direct quote from the book, tying happiness to the attainment of some future goal is like trying to catch up to the horizon. Hence the title of this show. Are you trying to catch up to the horizon? So how can we turn these ideas into profit for your business? This ties perfectly into the last two conversations we've had, and let me explain how. All right, here's one example. I love doing live stream communication with my audience. If you haven't guessed yet, I like to talk. Yeah, I'm sure you knew that. Anyway, I love doing that. I love also feeling good about the way I look and sound and the message that I have. Okay, I have a pretty healthy self-esteem. I think I look pretty darn good. For my age or not for my age, doesn't matter. I feel pretty good about the way I look and the way I present myself. But, I shouldn't say but I'm going to. But I hate taking the time to put on my, quote, pretty face for the camera, or, have to do up my hair, blow dry it even. I don't usually do much to it. I just blow dry it. And I just can't get myself to scare my audience by showing up on camera with my hair pulled back in a ponytail and no makeup on at all. All right. That's just the way it is. Even though all I normally wear is mascara, it's still, the feeling is very different between when I, quote, pretty myself up and when I just look like I rolled out of bed. So, I've been putting off doing live streams on Facebook and Periscope because I'm, quote, too busy to pretty myself up. That's bull. I know that's bull. All right. So I haven't done any live streams all summer because of that. Now, obviously we were gone for a month, but still, we've been back for over a month. All right. Now, here's the forward gap that I've been telling myself. I'll be happy when I can find the time to put on a pretty face and engage with people live. Yeah, that's looking forward, thinking where I am now, and I won't be happy until I get there, wherever there is. And that is when I find the time to look pretty so I can do live streams again. Now let's put it back to the reverse gap. I get to engage with people today and feel amazing about myself and my business when I do. Huge difference, right? I did my first live stream all summer and immediately had 5 more people opt into my Parent Entrepreneur Crazy Life quiz, this email solutions list I've created. Yeah, how's that for an immediate result? That means there are 5 more people whose lives will be less, quote, crazy and out of control because I got my butt in the bathroom and put on my pretty face and blow dried my hair, for gosh sakes. Right? I made time to do what also made me happy. I overcame my fear of getting back into the habit of talking live to people regularly. Now, that means I got to do it regularly, right? Yes. This one thing will help make consistent revenue in my business. And an amazing mentor helped me with all these things. Do you see how we're tying in the last 2 conversations we've had to this one thing, and that is happiness? Yeah. Now, let's just look at one thing that increased money, that's possibly can increase money and make you money. All right. So if you're putting off being happy until you get 5 more clients, let's say, and in order to get these clients, you need to make 30 sales calls. Okay. Or, like we talked about before, broke down the numbers. If you need 5 more clients and that takes you X number of sales calls or email opt-ins or whatever that might be. So you're putting off being happy until you get those 5 more clients. And in order to do that, you've got to increase your sales calls and all those other things. If that's the case, then this technique, just being flippin' happy, will blow your mind. All right. So let's look at this. Let's look at the gaps again. The forward gap. Okay. If you're saying this to yourself, geez, I hate doing sales calls. Yeah, most people say that. But here's the reverse gap, all right? Here's looking at where you used to be and where you are right now. Wow, I am so lucky to possibly connect with some people today who could truly need what I have to offer. I wonder which calls they'll be on today. Yeah, I know you see the difference between these 2 scenarios. What's so remarkable is that when you actually change this in your day-to-day business and life, you will totally feel the difference. And what is the difference? The difference is gratitude, my friends, gratitude. You've heard me in each of these scenarios, being thankful, being grateful for whatever I'm about to do. And that gratitude will make our little Jane Doe, who hates doing sales calls, a lot more money. Just read Vishen's story about how these tools helped him go from almost bankrupt to making over $1 million a month in less than a year. Seriously. I follow this guy. This guy's company is called Mind Valley. So you can go visit mindvalley.com. But just think of one of the amazingly successful entrepreneurs that you know. Okay, like Ariana Huffington or Richard Branson or Tony Robbins, okay, who are all used as examples in this book, by the way. And imagine how they wake up every day, each and every day, with the opportunity to impact the lives of millions of people. Now, you have that opportunity right now. And even though you might not impact millions of people, just imagine even 10, just 10 of the people that you influence and that are following you or on your email list or your clients, whoever, just 10 of them. And imagine them sitting around your kitchen table asking you questions. Now, most of us don't have a kitchen table big enough to fit 10 people. Okay, as a matter of fact, I'd have to dig out the leaf from my table. Where is that again? Oh, yeah, it's all dusty and full of dog hair underneath my bed. But anyway, so yeah, 10 people. You'd have to try and figure out where to put them around your kitchen table too, right? Now imagine if you have an email list of just 100 people. And instead of being lost in the thousands of people you probably follow on Twitter or Facebook, they showed up at your house for a little Q&A. Where would you put them? And do you remember when you only had 10 people on your email list? That, my friends, is being happy for where you are. It doesn't mean you don't have goals and you just stop here. It just means you're happy where you are, you're happy in what you're doing, and you know it will lead you where you want to go. Instead of delaying happiness until you get to some imagined horizon. Because, to be honest, every single person I've interviewed on this podcast is constantly growing and changing and increasing the goals that they have, changing the goals that they have once they reach a milestone. They change and add another one. So guess what? It is just like trying to catch up to the horizon. You never will, because your goals and ideas and growth will never stop. For me, to be honest with you, Power Parents, my growth, my goals, my learning will not stop until I am, until my heart stops. And I guarantee the same is for you if you are an entrepreneur. So, with that said, you get to help all those people that are in your audience. And when you're happy now, you get to help even more. So what I need you to do, your thought for the day, your task for this week until we meet again next week, or the next time you listen to this podcast, if you're listening to a few in a row, is to sit down and imagine what you're delaying and what you're putting off and how you're looking at the things you have to do in your daily life and how you might be able to change the way you think about it and the way you interpret it as either a chore and you're thinking you have to get through it until you can be happy, or that you're grateful for being able to do it now. And you can do this in your parenting as well, not just your business. You can be thankful and grateful for the opportunities your toddler is giving you by throwing a fit. Yeah, I know, you think I'm crazy, but it's serious. You can handle that fit that your toddler is throwing, and it will give you the tools to handle the situations you're going to come up against when they're teenagers. Believe me, I know. So, be happy now. And where will your happiness lead you? What are you truly grateful for right now, even in the most mundane of tasks that you will do when we say goodbye today? Because that, my friends, will help you enjoy the journey. Ready to uncover your parent entrepreneur crazy life score and get specific solutions to find more peace and profit in your life? Well, visit parententrepreneurssuccess.com/crazy score and take the quiz to see if you're Looney Tunes like me.